PHP has a number of built-in functions for manipulating mathematical data. We already looked at a couple of those functions like round and number format, but I wanted to just cover a couple of additional ones with you. You already know how the round function works. The round function is going to round to a floating point number. I'll go ahead and I'm going to echo out and I'll use the round function and plug in a number, and I'll save my page. And if we refresh, you can see that it's going to output 2. If I change this number to something else and save, it'll now output to 3. So it's going to round. If I increase this value, it'll round up to 4. So the round function is going to work as we would expect it to work. Sometimes though, you may want a number to either round every number to the next highest value or round down to the next lowest integer. And we can do that by using the ceil or the floor function. So I'm going to take this exact same value, and instead of using round, I'm going to use ceil. And if we save now and we refresh, you can see that we're going to get 4. But if I change this value to just 3.298, and I'll change the round value to that same exact number, you can see that round is going to give us 3, where ceil is going to output to 4. And then we also have a similar function is the floor function. And as I mentioned, the floor function is going to round every number to the next lowest integer. So even though normally if we were using 3.5298, we would expect to return 4. When we use the floor function, it's going to round that down to 3. So these can definitely be helpful, and I'll just make some comments so that you can have these in your notes. Another function that you might find use for in your programs is absolute, which is going to return the absolute value of a number. So let me show you what this looks like. So I'm going to run absolute on 2 values, a negative number and a positive number. And you'll see that both values are going to be output to a positive. So the absolute value of a number is always going to be the positive number. PHP will support all the trigonometry, exponent, base conversion, and logarithm functions that you'll ever need. You can check the manual for more information on this. The final function I'm going to share with you is going to be the random function. So I'll create one more example using the random function. This one is going to be mt_rand, and this one works a little bit differently. So mt_rand is going to generate a random integer. If I go ahead and click refresh, you can see that I'm getting a random number. If I click refresh again, I get a different number. And every time I click refresh, I'm going to get a different distinct number. The mtrand function has some optional parameters that you can pass in. So you can pass in the lowest number to be returned and the highest number to be returned. So let's say I wanted a number that was between 1 and 100. I would just type in 1, 100. And now when I save and I click refresh on my page, you can see that every time I click refresh, I'm going to get a value that is somewhere between 1 and 100. The value will always be different, and it's never going to go under 1 or past 100. So this can be really helpful if you're creating an application where you want to restrict the amount of numbers that you're going to be using. We're going to use this knowledge to create a lucky number application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use mt_rand to create 3 random numbers. I'll assign those numbers to their own unique variables. We'll create 3 variables, n1, n2, and 3, and I'm going to ensure that they are going to output a number that is between 1 and 99. Then we're going to use a print statement just to print out this information, and we'll have the information display on its own line. This is also going to print in a paragraph tag. If we save the page and we refresh, you can see that now it says your lucky numbers are, and it's going to display 3 random numbers. If I refresh my page, the random numbers are going to change, and every time I refresh my page, the numbers will change and they'll display a number that is somewhere between 1 and 99. PHP does have some other functions for generating random numbers, and you can look those up in the PHP manual. I just wanted to go through some of the more commonly used math functions with you so that you are aware of how they will work.